The first time you say no may be the first time you realize what all that praise was really costing you. Yesterday, you were still the person they trusted most, the one with leadership potential. But today, you can't take on one more assignment, and suddenly, you're not enthusiastic enough. You're no longer a team player. Your attitude has changed. Your abilities may be exactly the same. Only one thing has changed. You're no longer willing to buy their approval with your time, your silence, and your compliance. And that's when praise becomes a trap. 9:43 p.m. on a Friday, Melissa had just closed her laptop when her phone lit up. A message from her boss. There's an analysis that needs to be finished by Monday morning. You're the only person I trust with this. 3 months earlier, those words would have made Melissa feel proud. Her boss had called her the most reliable person on the team and hinted that a bigger role might be waiting for her. No specific title, no salary increase, no review date. But every compliment made Melissa believe that the next assignment might be the test that determined her future. So she canceled weekend plans, took on work outside her responsibilities, and answered messages when no one else was online. But that Friday night, Melissa was exhausted. She replied, "I can finish either the analysis or the client report by Monday. Which one would you like me to prioritize?" No anger, no defiance. She wasn't even refusing to work. The message was read. No response. On Monday morning, her boss walked past her desk without saying hello. During the team meeting, an important project was assigned to someone else. When Melissa asked why, her boss said, "I just haven't felt the same level of commitment from you lately." In a single weekend, Melissa went from the only person I trust to an employee with a commitment problem. She reread her message over and over. Wondering whether her response had sounded too cold, she almost apologized, even though she had done nothing wrong. That is the power of the praise trap. It doesn't begin with control. It begins with the feeling that someone finally sees you, believes in you, and has chosen you. But over time, that recognition starts to come with an unspoken transaction. I make you feel special. In return, don't make me hear the word no. Not all praise is manipulation. A good manager recognizes specific results, helps you grow, and still respects your boundaries. The problem isn't the praise itself. The problem is what happens when praise can no longer make you comply. First, they don't just praise your work, they praise your identity. A healthy manager might say, "The way you structured the data helped us make a faster decision. You know exactly what you did well, and you can repeat that skill." But controlling praise often sounds like this. "No one here can do what you do. You're different from everyone else. I know you would never let the team down. It feels amazing," until you realize you've just been placed on a pedestal. From that moment on, every reasonable boundary can be used as evidence that you no longer deserve to stand there. You're no longer just expected to do your job. You have to protect your title as the person who always saves the team. The praise no longer recognizes who you are. It creates a character you're expected to keep playing. Then being special turns into a private alliance. Your boss starts sharing things that are supposedly just between the two of you. They tell you that your coworkers don't understand you, or that some of them may even be jealous of you. At first, you think you've been invited into the inner circle, but the less you verify what you're hearing with other people, the more dependent you become on one person to tell you whether you have value. You don't know that the employee before you was also called a star, before burning out and leaving. Favoritism can make you feel protected. But if it isolates you from coworkers, mentors, and independent perspectives, it also makes you easier to control. Then the praise begins to create a debt. I put my reputation on the line for you. I'm preparing you for a bigger role. I wouldn't trust anyone else with this. Then the bill arrives. A project with no resources. An impossible deadline. An assignment you're expected to keep confidential. Another weekend taken from you. You're given no additional pay or authority to match this special opportunity. But saying no starts to feel ungrateful. That's why this trap works so well on responsible employees. You want to prove they were right to choose you. So you take on more work, not because the request is reasonable, but because you're afraid of losing the person they believe you are. If you're working to earn a promise that has never been put in writing, remember this: an opportunity with no title criteria, timeline, or accountable decision maker is not a career plan yet. it's only hope. And vague hope is one of the cheapest ways to buy your most valuable effort. If this reminds you of a special opportunity that came with a hidden price tag, leave a comment. I see the trap now. Someone else may need to know they're not the only one who once mistook exploitation for recognition. But recognizing the debt is only half the story. The trap fully reveals itself when you stop paying it. You set a boundary, you ask for resources, you request written confirmation of the promise, or you simply stop responding on Sunday nights. And almost immediately, the warmth disappears. You're excluded from meetings you used to attend. Messages become shorter and colder. A small mistake that once took 5 minutes to fix is now called a concerning pattern. And your boundary is given a new name: lack of flexibility, not being a team player, an attitude problem. You think you've lost your boss's respect, but what you may have actually disrupted was a transaction, their approval in exchange for your unlimited compliance. And here's the clearest sign. The moment you give in, the warmth returns. You accept another project, apologize even though you did nothing wrong, and suddenly they're talking about your future again. You go back to being the old you, and they go back to being the boss who once made you feel special. This hot and cold cycle keeps you trapped. You never know when you'll receive their approval again, so you work even harder to chase it. You analyze the period at the end of an email, your boss's facial expressions, and every unusually cold message. You're no longer focused on the quality of your work. You're focused on the temperature of the relationship. Meanwhile, as you become more exhausted, the system continues working exactly as intended. Your manager has an employee who voluntarily works beyond the scope of their role without requiring additional staff or budget. And when something goes wrong, responsibility can be pushed down to the person who has quietly been carrying too much. The cost goes far beyond the extra hours. You can't rest because you're still working in your head. You become distant from your coworkers, and you no longer know which version of your boss is real. Most dangerously, you begin measuring your competence by someone else's warmth or coldness. You don't need to walk into a meeting and say, "I know you're using the praise trap on me." Naming the pattern helps you see it clearly. But in the workplace, what protects you is specific action. First, bring the praise back to evidence. When someone says, "No one does this as well as you," respond with "thank you." Which part of the outcome created the most value for the team? That question shifts the focus away from your identity as the special employee and back towards skills you can actually demonstrate. Second, turn promises into structure. After a conversation about a promotion raise or new role, send an email just to confirm, "We'll review this opportunity in October based on the 3 criteria we agreed on." If they avoid setting a timeline or keep changing the criteria, stop making sacrifices based on that promise. Evaluate the opportunity by their actions, not by the feelings they create in you. Third, don't use overtime to repay the debt created by praise. When you're already overloaded, say, "With the resources currently available, I can complete either task A or task B by Friday. Which one would you like me to prioritize?" You're making your limits clear and returning responsibility for prioritization to the person who should own it. Fourth, when the warmth is withdrawn, don't chase it. Don't send a long email trying to prove that you're still committed. Don't accept more work just to bring back the old version of your boss. Return to the facts. Could you give me a specific example of the performance issue and clarify the expected outcome? If there's a genuine problem, you now have information you can act on. If all they can offer are vague labels, it becomes harder to distort the story. Finally, don't allow one person to become the sole owner of your professional reputation. Keep the right stakeholders updated on your progress. Document your accomplishments. Maintain relationships with coworkers and mentors. Update your resume and build an emergency fund if you can. If the behavior escalates into retaliation, discrimination, threats, or manipulation of your performance record, document what happens and consider seeking appropriate support from HR, your union, or an employment attorney. When you stop treating praise like a debt, they may say you've changed, that you're less enthusiastic, that you're no longer loyal. The first sign that your boundaries are working is often not respect, it's resistance. That doesn't guarantee your boundaries will fix a toxic environment, but they will reveal who truly values your abilities and who only valued your lack of limits. You don't become less valuable when you stop saying yes. You simply stop buying approval by betraying yourself. You don't need to be the special one to deserve respect. You need clear responsibilities, clear evidence, clear boundaries, and options that don't depend on someone else's mood. If you're done repaying a debt you never agreed to take on, leave a comment. Praise does not buy my boundaries. And if this video helped you understand what may be happening in your workplace, please like the video and subscribe to You and Me at Work. Every bit of support genuinely motivates me to keep creating videos like this. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video.